What is going on, everyone? I'm Ottengroff, and I am here today to talk to you about model Actriz in their second debut album, dropped fresh this week, Pirouette. Let's get into it. So, Pirouette is model Actriz's second debut album, and this album definitely has glimpses of the previous record, still leaning decently heavy into the spoken word, heavy house synth, glam rock kind of vibration. Although this time the project does definitely take a significant step forward, as there is definitely some more musicality in general, especially with the vocals. This album also features some intense genre mix ups laced in throughout, even featuring an indie piece with acoustic guitar arpeggios, which is something that those who have been following Model Actriz since their debut record certainly could not have anticipated based on what we were presented with the initial project, but it was a welcome addition, as we will talk about down the line. Lyrically, this album is lethally naked and intimate. It really plays into the glam rock, runway pop aesthetic that I think the band absolutely shines in. I think they absolutely build on what they had going last record. The mixing here absolutely has to be talked on. This album is very noisy and dramatic, and immensely well orchestrated. The bass in this project is booming and brooding throughout, and it is. I keep coming back to this word lethal, but it is absolutely tense and lethal, I think, are the two best words to describe this just anticipative vibe that you get throughout the project, which is very heavy, and I think matching this kind of naked feeling that you kind of get throughout. I think it matches kind of the anxiety ridden aura that you kind of get from some of the lyricism. The whole album is nothing new in this aesthetic for Model Actriz, but I think they really hone that blade that they use in communication of this, and it's just expertly done. You get it's awesome. You get many of these kind of awesome, quiet moments that lead to these super loud orchestral payoffs, these sort of explosions of emotional sound. And I really think explosion is the right word, as it's like quiet and anticipatory and lead in and simplistic, and then it's just explosive and it's noisy and it's percussive and produced really well, and everything is just immensely impressive, and the whole project just reigns absolutely supreme. This is a big one. So I normally try not to hit too many tracks with these reviews, but as I was dipping into 5 and realizing that I still had more to talk about, I thought I could trim out some, and then I decided, you know what? No, I'm not going to. So buckle in. We're going to open up with Vespers here, which is actually the album opener, and this track, symbolically and spiritually, I couldn't have imagined any other being put in the front. I think Cole Hayden did the perfect job selecting this piece to be exactly where it needs to be. It's tense, it's anticipatory. You have these awesome cymbals that begin to build the tension immediately, and it's matched with this very brooding synth and bass that complements in the background. The production is brooding, and the lyrics talk about this big step forward that's about to happen. It's not completely descriptive as to who it's going to be about, but that information will come forward soon, as there is this like general theme of evolution and progression, a big step that's about to happen for somebody. This idea of this evolution, this change that's encroaching, is very much the theme of this entire piece, this entire project, and completely carries throughout the tracks, and it is the center symbol for Pirouette in its entirety. And this Vespers track is actually a track that I think lyrically and symbolically gets circled back to a lot in this album, and we'll get into that. And actually, we're going to get into some lyrics right now that it's very important you hold on to because they, I think, do a great job in being symbolically very pivotal for a lot that is talked about later. So here we go. I'm saying, are you her? Are you keen to be arrogant but genuine? Claim that look, match that speed, take that room. Are you ready to be her? So, we go immediately from Vespers into Cinderella. Now, this track is spoken word. It's in very classic Model Actriz style. Okay, and you get these tense synth chords in the background, very plucking. And the emotion in the spoken word for this track is completely compelling and very strong. And we get these lyrics that are thematically about transitioning. And now we get the central character of the album, who is likely Cole Hayden. And the lyrics thematically are, I believe, likely about transitioning. And Cinderella has these just immensely provocative and strong visuals that it throws at you. You get visualizations of a tornado in the dark on the chorus, and you get a visualization of Mount St. Helens beneath the stars. Okay, everything is building up and it's ready to burst forth and erupt, right? When you get a volcanic eruption, right? And lava rolls out, right? And it burns everything in its path. But what happens, right? The soil is rich and it's ready to evolve, right? And evolution, remember, I said it's such a huge theme on this album, right? And nature and evolution is a huge theme. A tornado rips through the land, right? But it creates space. A volcano erupts, but it makes the soil rich. We come back to those lyrics in Vesper already. I'm saying, are you her? Are you keen to be arrogant but genuine? Claim that look. Match that speed. Take that room. We're going to skip ahead a little bit. Acid Rain. This track is an acoustic indie track on Model Actriz. Something nobody saw coming. This thing has acoustic guitar arpeggios. Like, what? On Model Actriz. Talking booming, brooding 808 house, glam pop, like dark synth stuff. Like, totally out of left field. But man, oh man. Clean production, gorgeous vocals by Cole. And this track is about there being beauty and fragility. You get these visuals of hummingbirds and nectars and a garden. It's about being nervous to leave this garden. This album is so naked, I said before, and so open and fragile. And this track is about that fragility. And it's an exposure of fear of being trampled upon, of being rejected, of being destroyed, right? I mean that's got to be identifiable when you're getting ready to go through a transition. I mean, yeah, of course. Of course you go through that. And it's this beautiful piece that you don't think you're ever going to expect from Model Actriz, but it works out, man. And it's right. It's like this little oasis in the middle of the album that you did not expect, but you love it. So perfect. Just this awesome little mix up in the middle. Stunning. I want to get into Departures. This track, when I first heard it, I thought, man, I've been like fiending for a way to criticize this album. And I thought, oh my gosh, I found it. Because I heard it almost immediately. I was like, wait a minute. My little ears tricking me. Are they playing a little game? Because the rhythm here. Wait a minute, that sounds really familiar. Wait a minute, my head's bouncing the same way. Oh, hold on, let me wind back the clock. Let me take a look at Vespers. Oh, hold on. Yeah. This sounds just like Vespers, doesn't it? No, that's lazy. But then I looked at the lyrics. Whoops. It was intentional. Dang. Can't criticize it for that now, can I? No, in fact, this track is the first step in the evolution. Check out these lyrics. I zip into my platforms. I slide into my skirt. I pull the straps around my shoulders. I pull the rouge out of my purse. We're doing it. We are literally donning the attire, taking our step into the transition. We take the step. I step onto the platform. Let me be your girl. I step onto the platform. They literally use the line, I step onto the platform. You don't get more straightforward than that. I mean, how cool is that? Talk about callbacks to Vespers. This literally straight up calls back. Sonically, lyrically, we take the step and we do it really close to talking about the climax of our nervous anticipation about doing this. We take it. And what do we get after that? A track that I have to nod to because we get Ring Road. Let me tell you something about Ring Road. I have to nod to this one. It's very brief. Production-wise, this is absolutely the hardest breakdown. Holy moly. Lyrically, this is absolutely the hardest breakdown. Listen to this thing. You will not regret it. Okay, we're moving on to Doves. Now, Doves is an evolutionary commitment. Let me ask you something. What do doves typically represent in like traditional American culture? Where do you see them things? You throw them out at a wedding. I just hit my mic. You throw them out at a wedding. This, I think, I'm getting bold. Sorry. I think this is a marriage between who Cole was and who they are truly. A resolution of acceptance and of commitment, at least vocally. There is this beautiful performance throughout this song instrumentally. There are these moments where the instrumentation calms down and you get these oases of calm, picturesque. So you get these very airy, waiting vocals by Cole. And then you get these explosions of sound. This is awesome, clean, pacing, picturesque track. It's the magnum opus of Cole's evolution across this project. Man, oh man, does Doves hit home. It was the first track that Cole wrote for this whole album. And you can tell symbolically it is everything that you've been waiting for, that Cole the character across this album has been working towards. Man, I hope it's Cole the person too, because it's beautiful. You step forward and you transition and you marry it. You commit to it. It's awesome. All right, criticism. Okay. Yeah, I think this album could have been 4 minutes longer, because then it could have been divisible by 11. So no matter how you spin this project, the only angle for where you really can attack it is that it's not commercially appealing. And I hate to break it to anyone who thinks that's any kind of an actual dig, but it's not a dig in my book by the slightest. Who cares about commercially appealing? This is art. This is a narrative. This is music. This is story. Listen to this thing, because sonically, lyrically, emotionally, you're going to get something from this. I'm giving you a baseless rating for this project, and this is a tremendous 10.